Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day or had a wonderful day. If you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Eddie. Normally I create vlogs, sometimes tutorials, sometimes reviews, but if you're interested in my life, consider subscribing and let's begin this video. So today's not necessarily a vlog, but it's a video on how I started my business. I'll be answering this question. Did you start your business with what you had, or did you start with a large capital? If you guys don't know, I have a screen printing business that I do full time. I work with clients and help them through the designing process, the shirt picking process, and I print the shirts for them and give it to them. I've been doing it for 6 years total, 1 year full time, in the past 5 years as a hobby. But in this video, I want to talk about why I started and how I started and what I did to get it started. The why is because back in 2012 when V3 first started, we needed team shirts, and I went online to go buy some shirts, but then the shirts were so expensive. And so why I started was because there was a problem. There was a white space, a space that wasn't filled, and I wanted to be the solution to fill that space up. And what I did next was pretty funny. I was talking with my mom recently about this. I had about $500 saved up. That was a lot of money to me. It was from my work, it was from saving up, it was from my birthday money, like everything collected as a 20-year-old, 500 bucks. And I didn't know anything about printing shirts, so I YouTube a couple things, and you guys, back then, like 6 years ago, YouTube was a much different platform. It didn't have all the resources that it has today, so I had to look at forums and read things and articles and see, like, is this a good press? Is this a good machine? I bought my first machine for 500 bucks and realized that I bought the wrong thing. When it came to my house, I was in complete shock because I was like, wait, I need this and I need that and I need this. Like, I need way more things. So I went to my mom and I asked her, I was like, Mom, can I please borrow $1,000? And surprisingly, she said yes. And so I took that $1,000 and I bought my first beginners/intermediate press kit. And so I had to start everything from ground up. I didn't know anything about screen printing, anything about the fashion business, or anything about shirts. And I'll tell you guys this first, it was really hard. I remember like sitting in the corners of my room crying because I was like, I can't get this down. How come I can't expose this screen correctly? How come the image is being printed this way? I was so frustrated in so many ways. Why did I get myself into this? What did I get myself into? Like, what was I thinking? But in those moments, I always had to think back to the why. Why did I start? That's why your why is so important. I wanted to provide shirts for those that were in my situation, right? Who were in a small team or a small church who needed shirts, who needed hoodies, who needed apparel, that couldn't afford it because it was so expensive. And that's what happened, right? After I printed shirts for my dance team and for my church, people eventually discovered and found out that I printed shirts, and word of mouth. And word of mouth is probably the best way to market yourself out there in any business, right? Word of mouth is the best form. Not advertisement, not billboards, not paper flyers. It's word of mouth. And because my prices were so low, word of mouth spread that much quickly. Everyone referred everyone else to me because they referred to me as the cheap t-shirt guy. The reason for that was because it was a hobby to me. It wasn't my business. It wasn't my full-time income. I was working somewhere else at the time, and I just wanted to make enough to buy all the supplies that I needed, the ink cost, the material cost, and just enough for me to eat. I didn't have to pay rent, I didn't have to pay electricity. As long as I broke even or made just a few extra bucks, I was totally okay with that. But it's a lot of hard work and a lot of sacrifice and a lot of just persevering through those hard times, because I remember messing up on so many orders that I lost so much money, right? Because when you mess up on orders, you have to buy those materials again. And I remember losing money, and I was like, dude, and it's a whole thing, and it's a cycle. Like, what did I get myself into? And that is why the why is so important. Why do you do what you do? Now you know why I got started and how I got started, but I want to share what I did to make it my full-time business. Now, screen printing for the first 2 years was just a hobby, but third year in, fourth year in, it slowly became my part-time job. Now, when I was like 23, 24, I worked a lot. I mean, a lot. I worked at my Korean barbecue restaurant. I was a dance instructor in Garden Grove. I was a ceramic lab tech. I was screen printing. I had GI. I was also doing V3. I was also a student. And so my story when I was 23 to 24 was that when most people had 7 days in a week, it only felt like I had 3 to 4 days in a week because I slept every other day. And during that time, I actually lived in my car. And after years of hard work, this is what happened. During this time, there were 4 paying jobs, and for the sake of this illustration, let's just say that each of these jobs paid $500. That means that I'm generating $2,000 a month. Eventually, I quit one and was still generating $2,000 a month. Eventually, I quit my other job and was still generating $2,000 a month. And it was funny because during this time when I had two jobs, I wasn't sure if I could go all in on screen printing, but I did. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna burn the job, I'm gonna burn my restaurant job and go all in on screen printing. The danger of going all in on that one thing is maybe you're not talented at that one thing you want to do. Maybe you're not good at what you want to do. For me, I slowly discovered that I was okay at screen printing. I'm not the best. There are so many other better printers out there, but I wasn't bad at it. And so that's why if you ever want to start a business, start small. Like, get feedback from people. I'm not talking about just your mom and your dad and your family members. I'm talking about your friends, people you don't know. If everyone around you is saying, hey, you should do this as your full-time thing, or you should do this as your career, that's a very clear sign that you should and that you're good at it. The market gets to decide whether you're good or not, and the market are the people. And sometimes it'll require you to work somewhere else to fund your passion. For example, everything I made at my restaurant, everything I made at school, I would actually reinvest majority of that back into my business and buy more supplies and buy more equipment that I needed. Starting your business can seem like an overwhelming, complicated process like licensing, trademarking your logo, taxes, papers, opening a bank account. I mean, there's so many different things that go into it, but you do not have to worry about any of that in the beginning processes. You will know when you have to do all those things. So until then, just start. And the last thing to note is be patient with your business. Whatever you're starting, take your time. It's better to do this slowly for the next 10 years instead of doing this for the first year and then doing this for the next year. Depending on what your business is, you most likely do not need to go to school for that. If you want to expand your education on what you want to do and want to go to school for that, that's not a bad idea because you know why you're going to school. But YouTube is literally a school. It's a platform where you can learn an entire skill set from scratch from not knowing anything. But all you have to do is put in the time and put in the work. And that's the what, how, and why. What I did, how I did it, and why I do it. Fast forward today, I have my own studio space where I do all my work. I do everything by myself. I could hire people, I could grow and expand, but I choose not to because of the things that I do. And this is where everyone is different. You don't have to go corporate if you don't want to go corporate. You don't have to be this gigantic company because more people, more problem, more money, more problem. And for me, I like the freedom of time that I have working for myself. And so that's why I choose to keep my business very small. All the jobs that I get, all the income that I get is mine, and I get to decide whether I invest it back in or spend it somewhere else. And this is where self-awareness comes in and try to figure out who you are and what's best for you. And this is just what's always worked best for me. If you guys have any questions about business or about this video or about me, let me know in the comment section down below. But until then, remember to stay passionate, inspired, and grateful in all that you guys do. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Over. Good night, good morning, adios.